to our Sunday specials now. A federal lawmaker believes females taking up careers in aviation have been described as key to the speedy development of the sector in Nigeria. Chairman, House Committee on Aviation Nkiruka Onyejiocha says the move will ensure the implementation of a solid succession plan in the sector. In our first special tonight, Lillian Eze-Mark reports on some women who are taking to the skies.
Aviation, a dynamic world characterized by glamour, leisure, speed, and economic development. A highly competitive venture where only the best survives. It revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
You need to study twice as hard. Yes. You need to be on your toes at all times. It's a world that needs to be explored to the maximum. I encourage girls to, there are so many diverse career opportunities in aviation, but mine is the best.
The field is dominated by men, but the few women in the business hold their own. From the female chief operating officer, pilot, air traffic controller to the security personnel, the code of hard work holds them together. They're also united by self-confidence, competence, and ability to balance home with work.
To the glory of God, I have a very understanding husband who is well articulate and educated and understands what it takes to marry a career woman. So with the support from him and that of my children, it's been so easy for me balancing my home and balancing my work, because he understands what it takes. He understands what the profession is all about as a professional too. So it's been that easy for me. I would say the girl child, keep your focus, keep your dream alive, be the best you can be, define yourself, don't allow anybody to define you.
With the aircraft at about 40,000 feet above sea level, Captain Sibitola Ajibola is arguably one of the bravest Nigerian women pilots, maneuvering a high-performance aircraft through the storms and turbulence with enviable expertise. She captained an all-women flight, inspiring the next generation to take up careers in aviation. Ajibola is doing the women proud and has earned the respect of our colleagues and passengers.
When I started flying, everybody would look and be like, a girl is flying us. No, no, no. Do not let anyone discourage you. There's nothing you cannot do. If you put your mind into it, nothing, absolutely nothing you can't do. Whatever a man is doing, whatever anybody is doing, you can do as well. You can even do better.
It's my first time flying with a captain, so it's really overwhelming, and I'm glad. I'm a lady and I'm glad, and I'm encouraging every young lady out there to also follow the trades, because we can do much more. I'm not saying that women can do more, but we can do much more.
It was a very special experience, and the woman proved her mettle. We're very proud of her, we the women. It was a very smooth flight. The landing was exceptional. So we applaud her, and we encourage other women to take up from there.
With what we've seen so far, I think they should be on their feet, knowing that they can do whatever the men can do.
For the first female pilot in Nigeria, it took time before women showed interest in the male-dominated job, one that is expensive to train and involves regular medical checkups.
I want to encourage the Nigerian girl child to have a vision, have focus. They should not just limit themselves to the fact that they will become a mother or a wife someday. They should give their best to the industry, to this, our nation, and to our country.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority's records show that 7,222 pilots have registered with the regulatory body. Of the figure, 2,673 are active, and only 107 are female. The air traffic controller may be behind the scene, but she is really sweating it out there, keeping the aircraft in the air and bringing it down safely. Air traffic controller Katie Bembo says a loss of concentration for a second could be fatal. She explained the 3 levels of command when she signs in at work.
Before a pilot even starts his aircraft, he must take authorization from us before he can start the engines. Then when he gets to the holding point, based on the traffic situation, he's going to ask for takeoff clearance. Then to get the takeoff clearance, he has to ask for a level. There must be a level assigned to him to fly on.
Keeping the aircraft and air traffic equipment in top form for the flying public is the job of engineers. To do a good job, Felicia Aguabata says engineers must be problem solvers.
Air traffic engineers, we're actually into the maintenance and installation and maintenance of communication, navigation, surveillance, and air traffic management systems. These are systems that allow for seamless air traffic control between point A and point B. For an aircraft to depart from one point to the other, you need some aids, landing and navigational aids, that will allow the pilot to navigate the aeroplane from one point to the other.
Aviation security personnel acts and talks tough, especially with unruly passengers. Obida Ochanya is one, and she says at work she stands her ground.
Speak with authority. You don't just come and start talking like a female. When you come and they order you to make an arrest, you go ahead. Yours is just to make the arrest. Because by the time you start listening, the heart of a woman that is so soft, before you know, they will just confuse you. Now, I urge them, the young ones that are still coming up, they should choose a career in aviation so that by the time we are retiring, they will take over from us.
Maternity, a core family issue, has a way of taking its toll on women in aviation. They say it takes recurrent training before a woman is allowed to work again after childbirth.
The job is such that when you leave it, when you get back to it, you need to what we would call revalidate. You know, because we work with our licenses. They need to check you out and make sure you're psychologically fit, you know, understand what the job is all about all over again, that there's a flow.
Chairman, House Committee on Aviation, Kiru Konye-Jocha, calls for regular education to change the mindset of the girl child and her parents that the job is not for the men folk alone.
Nigeria should be looking at our economy and begin to train people in those areas, where even if it means that you give people scholarship in science-related courses, including aviation, it simply means that, hey, what are we doing? We should be looking at how to train our people, how to up our aviation sector, and how to make it work.
The women agree that despite odds against them, it is gratifying to contribute to nation building. They call for regular staff training as key to success in aviation. They also want the government to encourage inputs from pilots in policy making, improvement in navigational and airport infrastructure, and role models to mentor young women to grow aviation in Nigeria. Lilian Ezemark, TVC News, Lagos.